Blessings. Does it ever seem like things are just falling apart? Does it feel like 5 steps forward, 3 or 4 steps backwards? Ever feel like whenever things are going too good, something bad is bound to happen? Or as I used to say, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Balance, right, wrong. If any of this sounds familiar, this message is for you. Welcome and blessings to you and your loved ones. I am Minister Madam May, spiritual life coach and holistic practitioner, giving you keys to unlock paths on your spiritual journey. On my last live on TikTok, I spoke of 2026 being the year of the fire horse and what that meant. Now, before I recap, make sure you are following my TikTok, where I go live sharing keys of wisdom and spiritual messages and some readings. Briefly, 2026 is the year of the fire horse. It is all about that action. Think about it. It's lots of fire energy, blazing the trail and burning away all that no longer serves us. The number for 2026 is 1. New beginnings, new opportunities, and my favorite, the rebirth. Out with the old and in with the new. Definitely some Scorpio energy, the Death card and the Tower. For some, this year could actually hold physical death of loved ones, and prayerfully, not tragic, but those whose contract is fulfilled and they are to return to the beautiful spirit realm. Some completing their last incarnation and they are ascending, moving on up like George and Wheezy. Bless their souls, and may their journeys be illuminated by the divine light of God. It's not one of the more comfortable subjects, but one that is reality. And being uncomfortable is our topic for today. Or tonight, wherever you're located. While you are preparing to receive this message, make sure you like, share, and comment. Make sure your notifications are on, because this is a year of fire. We're on go. As we travel successfully on our journey through life, we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. In my personal relationship with God, I do not believe that suffering is required for higher levels of blessings or spiritual hierarchy. I prefer not to use the term sacrifice for bettering ourselves or to be in line with our highest self, because it sounds gruesome and it just holds a lot of negative connotation. I keep seeing something. That's why I keep doing that. But it's a glare, shadow. God does not want us to suffer. I don't care what anyone says, past and present. God does not want us to suffer. I refuse to believe that. I believe that is what oppressors put out in an attempt to control the masses. And it's a lie. It's just downright a lie. Just like so many things that are put out to infuse and spread hate and cause division. But I'm going to get on that soapbox. I will save that for another day. Life is created to mature and grow. We have children. They start out, even before they enter into the physical world, they're little eggs and zygotes and embryos. And they grow. For 9 months, they grow, they mature. And as beautiful as the cycle is, that process can be uncomfortable. You give birth, you have your baby's growing, maturing. They go from infant to baby to toddler, those terrible twos. Again, uncomfortable. Growth and maturity can have its seasons of being uncomfortable. No matter what, it's part of the process. That's why we have what's called growing pains. We've all experienced those. 2025 was the year of the snake. New number, 9. Closing cycles. Collectively, the energy I've picked up as we are still in that energy, finishing up that energy, closing that cycle, is collective is just like, when is it going to be over? There are some that they speak about 2025 in total disdainment. And I understand, because think about it. During certain seasons, a snake sheds its skin as it comes into its next season, its growth. It no longer fits. Caterpillars, in their season, they go into their cocoons and they come out as butterflies. Now, I can't personally tell you if either of those cycles are uncomfortable for the snake or the caterpillar, but for some reason, I feel like there may be some levels of discomfort. Either way, in order to achieve what's next, there's some moments of being uncomfortable. Us, as we grow from adolescents, young teens to young adults, we have experiences that can be uncomfortable. We even have physical pain where you take your child to the physician and there's the leg cramps and aches and things like that, as long as there isn't something else medically going on, they'll tell you they're just having growing pains. from a biblical standpoint, look at Job. In the parable, Job lost everything. Everything. His children, his wife, his crops. And he was very well off. But he didn't lose his faith. Even as he was influenced by others who were watching, I feel like they were just like, man, listen, throw in the towel. Just throw in the towel. This don't look good, Job. Job wouldn't. And everything returned to him with interest. In the book of Exodus, as the Israelites were being delivered from Pharaoh, it was uncomfortable, the conditions that Pharaoh had them in. Pharaoh had them, it was unbearable. The expectations was unreal. At one point, Pharaoh took away their provisions and still wanted them to produce what they were barely able to produce with the provisions they had. How were they going to do it without the provisions? Here comes Moses with the solution. Let's go. True enough, you would think, oh, okay, well, let's get out of here. But it was familiar and comfortable-ish to the Israelites versus following Moses to the unknown. We don't know where you're taking us, what the outcome is going to be. You want us to follow who? Who gave you this instruction? Huh. Even as they were exiting, it was uncomfortable. To the point where the Israelites even exclaimed to Moses, not in these terms, I'm paraphrasing, man, you could have left us alone. We could have stayed back there. You got us out here hungry, thirsty, hot 1 minute, cold another minute, our clothes, our sandals. What? It was bad back there, but at least there was some hope. Now, how long is this gonna last? You're not even giving us a time frame. But those who stayed the course, look at what they inherited. The land of milk and honey. In present times, you may have a physical goal. You want to get back into the gym. You want to tone up. You may want to bulk up. You may want to lose, whatever. And in order to do so, you're going to have to work out some. You're going to have to change, modify, and make healthier choices, eating choices. Like many of us know, when you walked away from the gym and really decreased your exercise, that first workout especially, no matter how much stressing and stretching and how small the workout may seem, you're probably going to be sore because you've used some muscles and joints and tendons and ligaments that you kind of let lay dormant for a while. Now you're waking them up. They're like, what? But as long as you remain consistent and don't give up, you'll see the results. And again, it can be frustrating. You mean to tell me I spent 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes stretching in the gym. I put down the ho-hos and cupcakes and the soft drinks, and I'm juicing and eating fruit and taking my minerals. And it's been 2 weeks, and I don't have a six-pack yet. I'm not optimal fitness yet. I am completely uncomfortable. But again, as long as we continue the course, the results will be in. You want to grow your relationship with God. You've increased your prayers, you're fasting, you're changing mindsets, you're replacing. You're eliminating what you listen to and the conversations you have and just your overall what you allow in your space. And you've replaced it with more high vibrational things. Doesn't mean you have to listen to gospel music all the time or constantly do quote unquote what is deemed the right thing. But you have to eliminate those lower vibrational things and replace it with things that keep your vibrations lifted. How you speak to yourself. Also in others. If you're constantly putting yourself down, you're looking in the mirror and saying things negative about your appearance or calling yourself dumb or thinking that you're not worthy, that's you're going to project that onto others. So it's imperative that that's something that we must change. We must replace and speak positivity into ourselves. That's where affirmation and subliminals come in. There are even people that you may have to sever connections with. No matter the connection, no matter the relationship status, how you're related, how long? Because they're not aligned with your highest self and your divine purpose. And that's definitely uncomfortable. Look at it like this. How you identify your God, goddess, your highest self is completely your right and up to you. And allow no one, not even me, to tell you different. Personally, I view mine as divine mother, divine father, divine parents. Divine parents want not what's good for us, they want what's best for us. And if you're a parent, a guardian, a caregiver, you always want what's best for your children, those that you're caring for. How many of us have said at one point or another, I want my children to be better than me? We don't want them to endure those moments of suffering and discomfort that we may have went through. So we may have to say no. We may have to remove certain things. We may have to keep them from certain people. And they don't like that. That's uncomfortable. But for their best interests, it must happen. So when it comes to the divine, it's the same for us. I recently saw a meme or something, and it said something to the effect of, when someone's not for you, God will instantly cause them to cause you pain, discomfort. When you reach the stove and the stove is hot, or a young child, don't touch it, it's hot, don't touch it, it's hot, don't touch it's hot. You do everything to keep them from touching it. As soon as they have 3 seconds, they're getting their hand near it. And prayerfully, they won't receive any injury. It'll startle them. But their hand, as soon as they get near that heat, they're bringing it back hot. And that sting for a little while is a reminder, don't touch that. This time you got a sting. It could be worse. That's how I feel the divine does us. No matter the circumstance. How many of us can actually, when you sit down and you do a self-assessment, when we get out of our own heads and out of our own ways, and we think about circumstances, how many of us can honestly say, before we got all, God, why did you let this happen to me? We can actually say, you know what? In all fairness and honesty, I had warnings. For me, I can be honest, I had more than warnings. My spirit team was putting stop signs with flashing lights, you name it, in front of my face. And myself, I was just I'm determined to be with that person, to do that thing, to be here, to make that purchase. Even though they're like, stop. So I end up getting stung. And back then, of course, God, why have you forsaken me? When God never forsakes us. We just didn't listen. And it's a whole lot easier to blame it on someone else than ourselves. Because, see, that is growth in maturity when we take accountability. And that makes us uncomfortable. In order to receive what is for us, we have to release what is no longer for us, who is no longer for us, habits that aren't for us. As the parable says, do not put new wine in old wineskins. They'll bust. And then you'll have no wine. Of course, our flesh doesn't want to let go. So our flesh likes to team up with those other spirits. Lust, obsession, addiction. No. You can handle it. It's not bad for you. All the while, it's could be literally killing us. But even though it's doing that, some have wounds of abandonment and other traumas that may or may not be identified, and they're definitely unhealed. So we want to just hold on to what feels familiar, because the spirit of fear, which is not aligned with God, is shouting, "Oh no!" So at that point, the divine has to make it uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. So we don't get hurt. So we're not in pain. Because again, the divine does not want us to suffer or be in pain. So it's trying to keep us from getting to that point. So what we're receiving, and it may seem like suffering and pain. Oh no, I have to let him or her go. I can't go on. Do you know what you're headed to if you don't let him or her go? Years of suffering. When you could have went through this breakup and had you a couple of weeks of, crying, processing, and as you're healing, reflecting. What made me hold on to that person? When I really think about it, why would I want to? So what in me wanted me to hold on to them? Because we don't reflect in the spirit of guilt or shame, but we reflect with the intention of gaining wisdom. Okay, that's why we bonded. And again, we're not even finger pointing at the other person, no matter what they did. Yes, it sounds wild, but no matter what they did, they were being used by the divine. Why did we allow them to continue to do what they were doing? Us. And again, we're not shaking a finger at them. We're not shaking a finger at us. We're being observant. We're wise. Then we use that and apply what we learned from that so we don't do it again, and we continue to grow. We shed that skin. This is where shadow work comes in. This is why sometimes shadow work can have such a negative attachment to it. And don't get me wrong, I will not mislead you and make you oh no. When you do shadow work, it's amazing. It is amazing. But you will cry. There will be things that come to the surface, shadows, that you try to just make them a shadow, put away. I don't want to deal with that. Now, let me be clear. I do not practice, and as a life coach, I do not believe that we are to dig into wounds that are trying to heal and disrupt the healing process. tear the scab off, leave it open to air so that it can get in it, fester, and cause an infection. I do not believe that, and I do not utilize that in my practice. Now, is it a possibility as you are doing shadow work that things come up? Yes. But that is also the importance of life coaches and therapists and healers and a variety of healers to help you and to provide a safe space for you as we curate tools for you to cope as those things come to the surface and address them. Not pump you full of medications or just, oh, time is up, we'll cover this next week, and send you on your way heartbroken and shattered in 1,000 pieces. Or later on that night, that week, something to trigger you, or you have a nightmare that is disturbing and heart-wrenching. And, oh, we're unavailable until next week when you pay again. No. I'll address that in another recording as well. Shadow work is where we face the shadows, shine light on them, face them, show them no fear, show them, you know what, when I bring light into this situation and I really see the shadow, you're not so scary after all. You're just an outline. That I have control of. You don't have control of me. Because until we face those shadows and deal with them in a healthy way, that is exactly what's happening. They have control of us. And again, it's not scary. It's not painful. But it can have its moments of where it's uncomfortable. Because some things, some of these shadows, they've been festering in us since before we can remember. Because they were so tragic, so traumatic, we've even blocked them out. Get comfortable as you journey, having moments of being uncomfortable. And know this is just a growing pain. That's why it is important to learn, to develop tools, acquire keys to utilize as you journey this path. I offer several programs, one of which is a 32-week stress-free, because goodness knows we already have enough stress. But a 32-week stress-free program where together we will develop essential tools for you to utilize on your journey. This is not a one-time fix-all and we're done. No. Healing is a continuous process. I continue to heal. I'll get through one session or section, and here comes something else. But I look forward to it. I used to dread it. I'm honest with you all. But I understand that by healing myself, I'm healing those that came before me and those that are and continue to come after me. And I help others do that too. And I look forward to journeying with you and helping you to do the same. "2026 is about that action for you. You are investing in you, not putting money in other people's pockets. We're done with that. We've already seen with politicians and the government how that goes. Putting money into other people's pockets, no. It's time to put money into your pocket and creating generational wealth, and then teaching those after you to do the same. Because it's up to us to save us. Before you get that gym membership, that in a couple of weeks, it's just going to be something else coming out of your account. And again, I'm not speaking to you in a shameful way. I understand. This year, invest in you. That doesn't mean that you're still not to work out if you want to and create healthy habits, because I definitely want you doing that. But it's mind, body, and spirit. Not in that order necessarily. Maybe. Because once we have our mind right, we get our body right. Once we get our body right, we make it a nice temple for spirit to dwell. Think about what the old heads used to say. Get the mind and the body will follow. And how many of us know that is true? You are enough. And it's time you live like it. You are enough. There's nothing you've done, could do. I don't care your age. I don't care your lifestyle. That you're not enough, because you're more than enough. Quit investing in others and invest in you. If you're ready to be the warrior that I know you are created to be, hit the link in my bio. Visit my website, www.rebirthholistics.bigcartel.com, and choose the program that your spirit is led to. Be gentle with yourself. Take your time. This is a journey. not a race. Remember, God loves you, I love you, you love you, and I look forward to journeying with you. Blessed be.